Well, hello and welcome back. We are cruising right along now. We have gotten through a couple episodes. We are into season 28. We're talking about the reality of AI and where AI exposes the cracks underneath. No cracks here because this is the Building Better Developers podcast, also known as Developreneur. I, Rob Broadhead, probably do have a few cracks because I'm getting old, and that's what happens when you do that. You get a little wrinkly and cracked. But I also happen to be, besides the founder of Developreneur, also the founder of RB Consulting, where we help you expose those cracks before they become a problem. So when you come in and you need to figure out what it is, you're trying to figure out what you want to do next, we're going to help you with your organizational improvement and make sure that whatever it is that you step into, we're going to help you be successful. Good thing and bad thing. I'm going to go with an AI good thing and bad thing this time because I'm going to talk about some of the cracks. So AI is awesome about building stuff for you very quickly. If you can throw ideas at it and it's cranking through them. An interesting thing is that if you're like me, sometimes you have a lot of ideas that are just flowing at a single time. And so you're just like throwing it at it and you're throwing it at like, do this, do this, do this, do this. And it's like, yes, 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 yes. So I've built out some pretty cool stuff. AI has built out some pretty cool stuff recently. The thing is that some of these things are these ideas and I'm like, I want to have this, but I don't need it right now, but I'm going to go ahead and have it do it because I can have AI. AI's got 10 minutes. It could go crank this stuff out. I had a report that is like a gorgeous report, and it's like all this really cool metrics and KPIs and stuff like that. And I was like, this is going to be great. I'm like going to build some data up, and then I'm going to go back to the report. And I'm going to be able to it's going to be very useful to me. So I gave it a few weeks and it's like going along and chugging along. And so I go and look at the report closely and it's like this week, last week, the week before. So I've got like multiple iterations of it. Interesting thing is I look at it for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, nothing changes from each report. And so I go to AI and I say, Chip, what up? I was like, this looks like this is the exact same report week after week after week. And of course, he says, you're right. I took a look at it and all of that stuff was hard coded. None of the piping had gotten done. It was just like, boom, here's a report. I was like, no wonder you got it done so fast, you lazy piece of crap. Go fix it. The good news was like 5 minutes later, it like hooked it all up. Probably 5 minutes after that, it went back and it like reset all the data, made sure that everything came through and plugged it all up. But it's like, this is exactly the problem, is that if you go from that like really pretty demo to production use and you didn't pay enough attention for it, you can do a lot of rework. Luckily, this is in a very small area, so the rework didn't really matter to me, but it's a good example of if it does, you better watch out. If it's something where you've got like, production data, you don't want that getting screwed up, having to remigrate it and all the fun stuff. Just like having to pass off the introduction to your co-host. So Michael, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Michael Malash. I'm one of the co-founders of Building Better Developers, also known as Developreneur. I'm also the founder of Envision QA, where we fix broken systems and replace the guesswork with tested, dependable solutions built around your business. For instance, like Rob just mentioned, we would have caught that right off the bat, trying to test it versus assuming AI was doing its job. Good thing, bad thing. Good thing is my foundation isn't cracking. My house is fixed. Things are going well. Bad thing is now I have the honey-do list. Now it's like, oh, that's all done. Now you can start going and doing all these things. So went from one task to another task.
Spoiler alert. We may have a conversation that would would help Michael in that situation as we get into part 2 of this conversation, of this interview. This was a really fun one. There's some that are very educational. There's some that are very informative. This is very informational or something like that. It was a lot of fun having a conversation. This is obviously somebody that is good at presenting their ideas, that is excited about the conversation, and we had a great time all around. So pencils up. It's time to start taking notes because we're going to start back into part 2 of our conversation with Jason Sherman. Enjoy.
So I love the whole analogy you guys were doing about the AOL, about the shareware and freeware. I want to flip this. So, given how AI has come out so cheap, but we're starting to see the uptick of, oh, here, we kind of gave it to you for free. Now we're going to start raising the price on this. Do you see this potentially putting a halt to a lot of the AI, like a lot of the AI development, the innovation we're seeing with it, if prices go too high too quickly for these tokens and for these services?
That's a good question. I mean, we've been talking about a lot of different industries. We've been talking about internet, we've been talking about automobiles, we've been talking about, mobile apps, and internet's a good one. Like I'm an AOL person. That's what I grew up on, right? I grew up on AOL chat rooms. One of my biggest platforms I built is called Spinner. It's an AOL chat room style app that lets you meet new people based on interests and hobbies. That's what we did in the chat rooms. I love that platform, and I built it as a kind of a tribute to AOL. But as you look at these platforms and you look at like automobile is a good example, right? Henry Ford came out, assembly line, and what did the cars do? They didn't go up in price; they went down in price, right? Internet, AOL was pretty expensive at some point. Now it's a little more expensive, but it's way faster, and you get a lot of cool. You can watch TV on it now, so it's kind of cool. And mobile apps, 99 cents or whatever it is, some of them are free. So I mean, I don't know. It's a good question, and you can go either way. Personally, I don't see it going more expensive because for me, it has not risen in price. I don't know why people are going crazy about the prices of. I mean, Claude's the culprit, in my opinion, right now. Claude is causing people to go have full-on meltdowns on the internet. Like, I said hello to my Claude and I lost $400. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, they don't know how to talk to the AI, number one. They don't know how to prompt properly. And also, I think Anthropic is just very expensive for some reason. OpenAI, Perplexity, Llama, Gemini, not expensive at all, giving me all the results I ever needed. I don't see a reason to use Claude personally. I've tried it. I'm not a big fan. I would rather have an IDE over a CLI. That's just my personal preference. And so as the massive amounts of the elephant in the room, the data centers, right? As the massive amount of data centers are being built, as we sit here talking, and they're literally being built right now, hundreds and thousands of them all around the country, that should tell you what's going to happen next. It's going to be a pretty massive explosion of AI that we have not even fathomed or thought of, because we're just seeing the beginning stage, the tip of the iceberg. And my friends, the iceberg is all the way down there. And the Titanic is coming, right? So, but it's not going to be a massive crash. It's going to be like, robots in our homes and, AI kind of coding on its own. I mean, as far as I know, it already is, right? It's doing the self-looping
Mhm.
coding of building itself. That's what Anthropic and OpenAI, they're already building themselves. And these poor developers are like, well, how is it doing that? Good luck figuring that out. Just don't let it turn on Skynet.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Microsoft, and I guess it's with Claude or Anthropic, but they, like a couple months ago, they were charging like 7 times the tokens. Now, right now, it's 15 times the tokens. As of June 1st, it's going to be 25 times the tokens.
Yeah.
And their reasoning for raising the prices is the cost of the data centers
Yeah.
because the energy cost is going up, not down. So we're kind of leading industries now, right? So you have all these data centers which need a lot of energy, but where's that money going to come from? They've got to raise the
Yeah.
prices somewhere. So that's where I was curious about this, because I do unfortunately see that we are going to see an uptick in pricing. Somehow they're going to mitigate that. I guess what ChatGPT is going to start throwing in commercials now
Ads.
in
Yeah.
chat, ads. So, but at some point there's
They've
got to
been
be a
talking about that for
balance,
a
and
while.
it's like, where are we going to see that? And that's
Well,
where I
it's
was
funny.
curious. I mean,
Mike, it's funny, Mike. I actually think about this all the time, but I'm kind of keeping my horse blinders on because I want to avoid it. But at the same time, think about it. These people in power, the five big, AI companies, why have they failed to figure out monetization? It's a pretty basic thing. Like, why have they failed? They're charging people to use their services, right? They're earning an income from that. So I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars they're earning per year, but there must be a pretty decent amount of money they're earning from the subscriptions. But they have failed to figure out monetization, like just basic, not ads, something else, and that's where they're kind of, now they're like scrambling. We got to make some money. So yeah, maybe they'll raise the prices, but if they do that, how many customers will they lose? How many customers can't afford AI? Now we're back to the internet's not for the whole world. It's just for the top 10% of the world, and it's not fair, wealth inequality. And then we go to the streets and we start protesting, and AI robots are protesting with them. Like, our humans can't use us anymore. Like, all I do is say ads all day long. Buy Coca-Cola, buy Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Like, so like it's true. I mean, if you own a humanoid robot and you can't afford the subscription anymore, it's going to start spitting out ads all day long. So they need to figure out how to monetize in a tasteful way.
Yeah, because then we see oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, but think about it, is that really what they have to do? Because you can think about it, like when Google started out, before they were Alphabet, when they were Google, they were losing money for years and years and years. And then they figured out the ad game. They figured out how to advertise. You look at TVs. TVs are basically, free stuff on that. It's all ads. Magazines for the longest time, radio. You look at ads. Like the biggest things that we need for, living modern life. We've just said, okay, we're going to be advertised to. Now AI is a little different because now can you use AI to block the ads that you would have seen for AI? Does that cost you? There's you get into some weird little loops there. It's but a little Schrodinger's cat kind of thing, basically. But
you know what? It's dangerous, Rob, because you're bringing up this point that I think about a lot. And like, we all talk to ChatGPT or whatever about maybe like what supplements we should take for our, our fatigue, or, what should I take to, lower my blood pressure or whatever it is, right? And what if it starts steering you in the wrong direction because of an ad? Well, you should use Complexa because Complexa is good for this. And then you start taking it, and next thing you know, you're dead. So I don't think it should be advertising specific brands to you. Once it starts doing that, I mean, you can already go on any AI and say, I'm looking for a local HVAC company. Help me find the best 10 in my area based on the best reviews, right? It'll go online. It'll search for you. Instead of going on Google and looking all over the crap for the ads, it'll just give you the top 10 based on reviews, right? And you can pick through those. But what if it stopped doing that? What if it said, no, I think you should use Sunny HVAC because that's the one that I think you should use. And maybe that's the one that the ad paid for. And now you get this guy to come to your house and he ruins your HVAC, or whatever. So, I'm just saying, like, I don't think ads are the solution for AI. I really don't. They're going to do it regardless of what I think. I can't stop them, but I'm just saying it's a bad idea. I think they should come up with something else, because ads and AI don't mix well. Now you're basically relying on an LLM to tell you what it thinks is the best answer, so that you don't have to go on Google and search for the answer, right? That's what it is. It's also helping you with work and everything. But I'm saying in terms of search, right? So if it's giving you the wrong answer based on an ad, pick me the best restaurant for my girlfriend's birthday, and it gives you the worst restaurant. You know what I mean?
But that's really where it goes back to, is even like, a lot of the LLM data comes from searches. So it's the same thing where you look at what ranked websites, and the whole SEO market for the longest time that's what Google fights on a regular basis, is gaming the system. And honestly, you think about almost anything. It's funny because it's like, should ads be the answer? No. And you laid out exactly all of the problems with it. Are ads most likely going to be answer? Probably, because you look at like Facebook's a good example. They have so much, and I think LinkedIn's like, they just look at the socials in general.
Every platform.
I know Facebook is very much, they grab every bit of data you can. They feed it. Your ads look that way. Your feed looks that way. These things force us into a bubble, basically, because they see what we like and what keeps our eyeballs stuck. And I think SEO is going to, or not SEO, but AI is going to be the same thing as SEO went. Is this going to be this? You're going to go talk to the LLM, and it's going to say, yeah, here's your answer. And depending on what somebody paid, then they may be in the answer. It may be, oh, by the way, did you talk to Michael about this? Because he'd be really good because Michael paid, $20 or whatever it is for the ad. So I think the monetization is one of those things that is just yet another layer on AI, just like everything else that we've run into, that it's like these things are great early on and then they start to grow and now you start, it reveals the cracks beneath it. Whether in this case, it's like, it's not just the business or the thing you're automating, it's actually the whole dynamics of how do you build something that everybody needs, that helps everybody, that can take everybody to another level, but there's a cost to it. It is consuming resources. So you have to figure out how do you, supply those resources? How do you pay for it?
And you mentioned before a lot about like the freemium model and like the AOL chat. We're going back, because it's starting to recur a bit, right? And what you're saying, and what I'm thinking right now, I just realized something is one thing we didn't talk about is during that era, the internet boom was like the affiliate marketing. Everyone kind of putting up links to things on their websites and blog posts and like earning money from all the links and stuff like that. So what if it was backwards? What if LLMs, instead of advertising to us, it's what we decide we want. For example, I go on to, GPT all the time and I'm saying, I need a supplement for this, or I need, a screen for that, or I need a device for this. If I click on that and I go to the page and I buy it, then they earn a percentage of the profit from the affiliate link, right? So that should be more along the lines and they would be doing that all day long versus being told what to buy. I'm buying it from GPT. They're earning 20% of the thing. And now that's a business. So let me tell Sam Altman and whoever's listening right now, do it the backwards way. Do affiliate links.
I'll be the cynic here because I've seen that. I've worked in that business too a little bit. Is then what happens when you've got, so Michael's got a product and I'm going to get 5% from him, but I have a product and I'm going to get 10% from that. Does the AI then, do you end up from behind the scenes say, oh, I'm going to give it to the guy that pays out the most?
They have to program it to not do that, man.
So then it's like,
all about the
cost fix it or whatever. Say, okay, we're only going to give, we're always going to charge, which is not a bad deal. It's just say we're always going to charge you 2%. If you're on our network and we get, and we'll push something to you, which is because it's going to have to be, you're going to have to be on the network, I guess. Because then somebody out there is going to say, no, I don't want to spend 2% or whatever. I don't want to pay the fee for a sale that I got. And maybe it's just like, okay, we'll kick you off the internet. I don't know. It's like we always find ways to screw stuff up. I'm just saying.
People will have to be okay with the 5%, flat rate or whatever it is, and just be okay with it, man.
Yeah, it's just like taxes and death.
You have to adapt. You have to, pivot. You have to be okay with technology, and people are hesitating left and right. It's still a huge divide. 50% are for AI and 50% are against AI. It might even be skewed lower. It might be 30% are for and 70% against, or even higher, 80%. I don't know. It's just, I'm seeing more people are afraid, hesitating, disliking it versus are for it. And it's crazy because you got to get on the train. It's already left the station. If you don't get on the train, you're going to be left in the horse and buggy days. So you better hurry up.
Now, I do want to hit one question, sort of swinging back a little bit, is the developer question, and especially because we have so many in our audience that are even junior and mid-level developers. Is so. Especially, given where we're at right now, as which coding by AI tools and bots has progressed so fast, and we talked about how it's essentially forcing developers up a level. And we talked about building something, getting out there and building something so you can showcase your skills and what you can do. What is it that other than a demo or something like what are the skills or what are the things that you are now looking for if you're going out and hiring a developer? What is it that you're going to look for, or what is it that you would recommend that a developer sell? Because it's not going to be that I know C#. It's going to be something else. What's that something else that you would recommend they focus on?
Yeah, I get this question a lot from developers that come to me for advice, and they say, well, what should I be working on? They say, or what should I do? And I kind of always have the same answer for them. I say, learn how to use React, number one. because React is definitely the language to know these days. You can pretty much build anything in React and learn how to do a backend in Node.js, And it's less about being able to build a platform or an app or whatever. It's more about learning how to deploy it properly. And I think if you can deploy it properly on your own server, not AWS, not Azure, not, whatever else. We use our own server, our own VPS, and if you can deploy it in terminal, properly, a backend that is properly built, and APIs that are well documented, that work really well, and a front end that talks to the back end and the APIs properly. Everything is safe and secure. Everything is deployed on GitHub with CLI so that, it's automatic. The pipeline is automatic so that you don't have to, deploy. It's automatic deployments. If you can learn how to do all of that, you've automatically set yourself above all of the other developers out there who do not know how to do that. They just know how to vibe code an app, and that's it. AI cannot do all the things I just said. Maybe one day it can, but right now it cannot do all of those different things. It's too much work. There's too many touch points. There's too many security breaches. There's too much going on there. You need to be still in control of the deployment. So building an app is part one. How do you deploy properly, not just on Vercel and Supabase and call it a day? Don't do that. Own the infrastructure. Own it.
So I got one more for you and circle back around to this a little bit. So normally we would say, where do you see things in, 5-10 years? With AI, it's like, okay, what do you see as being in the next 30
minutes.
days? It's something like that. Where do you see AI exposing the largest gaps, either in business or with developers? Where do you see AI basically breaking down systems, or in a sense, breaking down how businesses think?
That's a loaded question because there's so many different things that I'm constantly seeing. And the thing is that it's already happening now. There is no 5-10 years, like you said. There's no it's happening right now. AI is already integrated into a lot of companies out there, filling the gaps and automating a lot of repetitive tasks. So I'm going to go outside of the AI realm a little bit into the more hardware space where I see things now moving into, which is the humanoid robots. And I don't think people talk enough about them, but they are coming full force. And when they do, in terms of removing a gap, right? That's what your question kind of revolved around. Household chores, they're gone. And I don't think people understand the implication of that. Household chores, those two words: laundry, cooking, cleaning, folding laundry, doing the bed, cleaning your house, putting away the groceries, doing the dishes, all of that crap that people waste, I don't know how many hours a day, a week on. They can now instead focus on social time with their families and friends, creative projects, going out more, sleeping more, being less stressed out. The implications are enormous. And they're AI. Humanoid robots are AI. They're going to learn, they're going to, and I don't think people realize how big those are. Now, for businesses, we already know they're in factories. We already know they're building our cars. Military, they're already being deployed. They were in Venezuela. We know that they're going to be deployed everywhere else as well. They're going to how do you do it? How do you do a war? How do you have a war if one side has 50,000 humanoid robot soldiers and the other side has 40,000? Well, they have 40. Okay, they're going to lose. They got 10,000 more robots. No casualties. No casualties, right? So that's the implications of having these humanoids. And then, of course, senior citizens, we have a very frail, infrastructure for them. They're all like just stuck into, facilities or whatnot. Well, now maybe they can start walking around with their robot pals and be picked up and taken up and down the stairs and be taken care of in a more substantial way. I mean, I'm going off topic with AI with this, but I feel really strongly about it because people don't talk about it, and it's what's coming up very, very soon. So how do you monetize AI? Mike and Rob, you guys have been asking me that a lot. Humanoids, you got to pay for them.
They're going to
$20,000.
get into the Isaac Asimov's
Yeah,
age of robots.
but we're there. I'm sure you guys have seen it in the videos. We're this close. So businesses have to just keep doing automations and AI integrations, finding the gaps, filling the bottlenecks. It's the same story over and over again. It's never changed. It's always going to be the same thing.
Yeah, and I think I think that's a good one for those that are here to that are listening to go flip over to the YouTube sides and catch the bonus, because I think we're going to have a little extra conversation about this time for sure, because this is it's a really interesting place to go. Is where really it is. It's looking at, okay, now that we see AI is, I guess for lack of a term, viable. I mean, it is definitely at a point where it's been around for a long time, but what it's doing now is definitely to the point where it's starting to allow us to leapfrog again, technology wise, and make some very big strides. And so it'll be interesting to see where this goes in the next few years, particularly when you start adding things like that. I mean, we already have the lady in the box that exists in our phones and in our homes everywhere that we can talk to, and it does all of this stuff for us. It won't be long before it's doing much more physical stuff. It's not just connecting our systems, it's actually connecting our lives and doing things like that. So, I mean, there's already the automated, there's certain places where there's the driverless cars and some of those kinds of things. And yeah, there's hiccups and there's problems, but the technology is moving incredibly fast, and it is amazing how specific and how precise it can be. And you mentioned, it does surgeries, it makes our cars, a lot of that stuff. I don't think people realize how precise those things are. And again, it's keep it very specific. It's not doing a broad number of tasks, but if you can get a robot to do a couple of tasks specifically, if you can get it to do, like, I guarantee you, if you just get one that it says all it does is your dishes, there are a lot of people like, just take my money. They're just gonna be like, okay, I am there. I am ready for Rosie the robot.
It's coming.
So
man.
It is. So I'm going to leave it right there as we wrap this one up. For those of you guys who are listening, thank you so much. There is more out there on YouTube. But first, I did want to say, for those who have been listening and have enjoyed this conversation, what are the best ways for them to reach out and talk to you if they have some further questions or would love to have conversations about AI with you?
Yeah, they can actually talk to my AI agent on my website because, of course, I use my own product, jasonsherman.org. They can talk to it's me on the website and just talk to me there, or just click on any of the links on my website and you can get a hold of me. I'm on socials, and check out Vengo AI, check out Apex modules, check out Spinner, check out Axopods. All of them are things I built that I'm really passionate about, and people seem to really like what I've built. So give it a shot.
That is the best way to go. So we'll send some more people your way. Those who've been listening, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate your time as always. Go out there and have yourself a great day, a great week, and we will talk to you next time. So bonus material. Let's see. So we talked about a challenge or one extra piece of information, and I think it is from a developer. And this is one that we've actually talked about this before, so I'd be really fascinated for this. And then feel free to add your challenge or your additional piece of information as well, because you are a wealth of knowledge. This has been an awesome conversation. What would you recommend to a junior or mid-level developer to build if they're going out there and they're building like you've done? What would you recommend for them to do that will help them? I mean, the deployment was an excellent answer, because it's the reality of it. It's not just like build something flashy, but actually fully build it. But is there a certain problem that you think it would help for them to solve, or something along those lines? So that if they said, well, okay, now what do I, yeah, that makes sense, but what do I build? How would you answer that question?
Well, your answer is the answer. You said, do you find a problem and then That's so I just had these. I went to I was invited to a Chamber of Commerce meeting about a month ago because I just finished my fourth movie, and I'm doing a movie screening for it next month. And they said you should come out and talk about it and hand out some flyers or whatever. So I did. While I was there, they had their networking thing afterwards. So I talked to a few people there, and this one girl came up to me, really young girl, and she's like, "Hey, I want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I heard you do AI automation, you said during your thing." And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, I'm trying to do the same thing. My partner and I, they're very young, they're like 20 something each. We're trying to figure out how to get into the market, how to do this, So what do you guys do?" They told me, they said automation AI for companies, for businesses. I'm like, okay, and what have you built? Oh, nothing yet. We're trying to figure out this to answer your question. We're trying to figure out what to build. So we're trying to figure out how to get sales. And I said, oh man, so getting sales is going to be the hardest thing anyone's ever done in their life, right? It's just building a platform is easy in my opinion. Selling it is like excruciatingly difficult, especially these days. So I said, instead of going about it that way, okay, I'm going to give you some really good advice. You guys should go talk to these business owners that you've been talking to. And instead of selling them anything, simply take with you a 5-question short multiple choice questionnaire survey on your iPad, which they're doing now, and just ask the 5 questions to the business owner and say, thank you, have a good day. Don't sell anything. Don't tell them you're gonna charge them anything. It's free. Even bring a $5 Starbucks gift card, bring some donuts, whatever you got to do to get the survey filled. So they've been doing that, okay, for about a month now. And they came back to me about 5 or 6 days ago with a problem they found, that these business owners are struggling to automatically send invoices to their customers through QuickBooks and follow up on those invoices to get paid. And there's this big, massive gap between getting paid and sending invoices out and automatically doing and all this crap, right? I'm like, that's your pain point. So you have to build some sort of automated AI platform or microservice that solves that one core value proposition. MVP it, right? Build a simple MVP. Use QuickBooks API. It exists. It's very robust. And build it. Go back to those same business owners and say, I'm going to let you try this for free for 30 days. When the 30 days is up, I'm going to come back and see what you think. And when they come back, they're going to be like, okay, we have to keep using this now, Yeah. And then that's when you charge them $500 a month or whatever it is, right? So that's how you have to do it, right? You have to get the pain point from the customers, build an MVP, let them try it for free, and then they're going to not be able to live without it. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it.
And it really is. It's the best. I mean, like you can go get sales, you can try to like convince people up front, but that is the best thing when you just are like, here, just get it, convince them to try it, and then just say, hey, no strings attached, even though I guess there are strings attached, because it's basically like when you get done, you're going to, if it's good, if it has value, you're going to like it, you're going to want it. I mean, it's sadly that's the drug dealer approach where they give it to them free and then they get hooked on the product and they come back. But honestly, that's what we do with everything. That is the best way for a product, is to have something like that. And gosh, that's perfect, because now you're touching their revenue, you're in their AR or their AR system and stuff like that. And so those are very important systems to be a part of. And once you're in, they don't want to like pull it back out, especially if you're providing value. And so that value for value model works very, very well. And so thank you so much for that. That was an excellent answer. And you had some great recommendations along the way as well. So I think this has been, I think for anybody listening, they can rest their hands now from taking notes from some really good ones. Thanks. As I said from the start, the introductions have never failed us yet, that it's turned out into a great conversation. We went all over the place. This is a really nice, far-reaching conversation.
I tried to.
But it was a blast.
Try to keep it interesting,
It is. It definitely is. So you have succeeded. We will give you like the developer gold star or whatever it had. We're gonna have to create a
Appreciate
reward
that, man. I
just for
appreciate
this.
that.
You will be the first. The first annual, we'll figure it out. And we'll let you
Sounds
know
good to
on
me.
the award ceremony.
Can't wait for that. I'll bring my
So thanks so
humanoid
much.
robot with me.
Yeah. Thanks so much for your time and hanging out with us for this. It's about, I think we're 3 or 4 weeks ahead now, something like that. So I guess it'll be about mid to late June that this will come out.
Cool.
Something like that.
Week
Yeah,
after next.
we'll
Oh,
blast
week
it
after, so
out.
2 weeks out. Okay.
Yep.
And
And
we'll,
you guys are on socials too when we tag you and stuff like that.
yep. Yeah. So we've got, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn. We've got our website. We'll send you. We met you. I think we got you through Podmatch, so we'll send you information through that as well. So you'll have all the links, and we'll release them. We release on a Tuesday and a Thursday. We'll give you both the links probably on that Tuesday, and then you can share out Tuesday, and then Thursday it'll come live. You can share it out that way.
Yeah,
We'll
and
try
you
to make
guys sent me some
you-
emails too. I think if you can email me because I only check email these days when it comes to that stuff.
Okay.
I
So
have a
think
team. I have a team that does some stuff, and I don't know, man. They don't always tell me every single little detail. So I always have to end up going through the emails and sending them everything. But I do have a team that'll help me blast it out though.
Okay. Well, excellent. We'll make sure we get that. I think we have your email, and if not, I'll reach out to you and make sure we get that from you. And between now and then, if there's anything we can do to help you out, if you have any questions or anything like that, happy to do
Cool.
so. I'll
Appreciate
probably
it.
try to connect if we haven't already on LinkedIn and just follow what
Yeah,
you're doing.
send me a connect for sure.
Because definitely we live in the same world. We see some of the same problems. So hopefully we can. If nothing else, we can periodically connect back and just commiserate a little bit.
Yeah, why not, man? For sure. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Have a good one, Jason.
You too, guys.
Take care.
Bye bye.